of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Tommy Savas, director of Cogn-AI-tive. It's hard for me to say. Premiering at Frightfest. I think because how it's spelled, I keep wanting to say it a different way.
It's spelled like, for some reason, I had this great idea to have the word AI in the word, and then so it's Cogn-AI-tive, but it's cognitive. So it's, I wanted to confuse everybody. So there you go.
Well, you worked. It worked. But no, it's a really cool movie. I get to see it. It's going to be premiering at Fright Fest, which is very exciting, I assume, for you. So give people an idea of what it's about if they're not aware yet.
So, I mean, in simple terms, it's basically ChatGPT comes alive and kills everybody in the office.
I like that. Very quick, and you got to the point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When we're making this movie, it was really important to me that I looked at the actual capabilities of AI right now, and I tried to make a movie that really showed how, if AI were to kill you right now, how AI could kill you. And specifically, like, these ChatGPT chatbots, like what they could do. So that's, what the movie's about.
Yeah. I like that there's a lot of former AI. So there's like a little robot in there. Kind of reminds me of the robot from NES when I was a kid. And there's kind of a hint towards HAL, I think. And I like that. It's like an ode to AI from various generations.
This guy right here?
Oh, there he is. Sweet. Is he the actual robot from?
This was screen used. This is the actual robot that did some murdering in the movie. Yeah, I mean, that was my thing. Like, there we go. There he is. There he is. Johnny Six, as I call him.
I love it.
Yeah. For me, this movie, like, I grew up watching 80s and 90s horror movies. So I really wanted to pay homage to that in this movie. So there's tons of little Easter eggs that are nods to different films from those eras. And, even like studying, camera moves and the look and feel of these 80s and 90s movies to kind of have, this nostalgic feel to the movie. But that was definitely one of the elements was my little Johnny 5, Johnny 6 murderer right there.
Yeah. And it's I've talked about this before on the show for years. I always love AI stories. I always found them very interesting. And now in the last few years, like it's becoming reality sort of. My opinion, the first AI like story is Pinocchio. I think that's AI in its own right.
I guess you would be right. I tend to say Terminator, but you know what? It's fucking Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay. I'm down for that.
So you wrote so your wife wrote the movie.
Yeah, my wife Angie, she's a screenwriter. That's what she does for a living. She writes horror genre films. So I got this opportunity to direct a contained horror film. So me and her together developed this movie. We sat down for a while trying to think about like what we could do for contained horror, and we went all over the place. And then she's like, dude, this is during the writers and actors strike that we were developing it. And she's like, dude, you don't shut the fuck up about AI. Why don't we just make the movie about that? And then we were like, fucking, let's go. Because, the more I would, because that was a big point of the writers and actors strike was AI.
Yeah, right.
And most of my peers and they were very optimistic about like what AI was going to do, and I, on the other hand, was the complete opposite, where I was a huge pessimist. I'm like, no guys, we're fucked. Like, AI is coming for our jobs. It may be a couple years, but eventually here, and that's all I would talk about. And God, please, I hope I'm wrong, but so honestly, I had fear about AI. There was this thing that was haunting me, and I was like, let's explore that and see, what we could do with that idea.
How do you feel about AI today? Because even since then, it's advanced quite a bit.
It's wild. I mean, that was the thing. I remember having conversations, when this is back 2023, so not even like 2 years ago. People being like, no, look at what the AI, the hands, like they can't do.
6 fingers, exactly. Yeah.
Now you have Google VO3, which is creating shit that's like you can't tell the difference anymore. all of our parents are getting tricked into thinking aliens are invading. Like, so I mean, here I get asked this question a lot, obviously, because I made a movie about AI.
Yeah.
So but for me, what I like James Cameron said it, where it's like AI is an amazing tool for independent filmmakers because it gives them the ability to be able to compete with these studios on a level that normally you wouldn't be able to compete with, right? But at the same time, for me, what I think AI is doing to us as artists and what it's going to do is it takes away the element of collaboration, which Neal, you're a filmmaker. Like that is what filmmaking is about. When I have an idea as a director and I sit down with my VFX artist or my production designer and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking this, and then they have an idea and we go back and forth. And what comes out of that collaboration is this fucking incredible thing that neither of us ever thought we'd think of. And it's beautiful. And that's what filmmaking is, right? It's collaboration. And with AI, it's like I go, hey, fucking make me a donkey who gets a rocket shoved up its ass and it explodes, and that's what I get, right? Like you get what you put in, and you lose that collaboration where these new and amazing ideas come from. So that's the thing I'm worried about with AI is I think there's going to be audiences. I mean, like audiences love. I mean, I'm one of them. Marvel movies. Those movies basically are fucking AI. Like that's so already. Mm-hmm. So you're like. I do think that there will be a genre of film which is AI movies, and then hopefully the audiences feel that difference and still want that connection and want that those new ideas and that human connection behind it, and that they come back to
Well, yeah, I mean, even today, like if you say like the MCU and the big blockbuster movies are kind of AI already, people do love those. And there's still an audience for like weird horror movies and smaller movies. Because I go to movies all the time myself, and I like a lot of the Marvel movies and stuff too. I'm not like a snob or anything. I just enjoy what I enjoy. But I also go and see some, Jimmy and Stiggs this weekend was playing, which is also playing at Frightfest, but happy playing AMC, so I went to see that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I've also seen Superman and Fantastic Four. So.
Exactly. So we'll see. I mean, I hope that I'm wrong and AI doesn't fucking take all of our creative jobs away, but that's hope and a prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when she was writing it, like, how does that work? Does she show you the script as she's like doing it, or when it's finished?
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it's development. So every step of the way I'm involved with her, right? So we'll do an outline. She'll do the outline. We'll break the story. Like these are the story points that I'm looking for as a director, and then again we collaborate on those things, and then basically scene by scene. Like she'll bang out a scene, I'll go through it. What I'm saying? I'll give her direction on that scene where I want it to head, or vice versa. And then like that was the thing. Like I took it upon myself to do a shit ton of research into AI because it was important to me that. And people watching this movie, two things. One, if you don't know a lot about AI, you can watch this movie and you can understand it. Like there's not a learning curve, like you get it. And then also if you do know AI, that you're not watching this movie being like, wait a second, those guys are idiots. That's impossible. So I had to do a shit ton of research on AI to figure out what its capabilities are and to simplify it, but also keep true to what it is. And then also like the kills, like I knew what I wanted the kills to be when we came up with the idea. I was like, this is how I see these kills happening. So it was like, how do you kill people in an office building with things that are in the office, right? So we had to like, exaggerate. We had to place things in that office that might not normally be there, but still within the realm of reality. So yeah, it's just, again, very collaborative. Like she does all of the writing and she does all the dialogue and everything, and we'll just go back and forth and help her develop it, and we'll go scene by scene. It's kind of the way we do it.
Have you collaborated before on scripts? I know this is your first feature narratives.
Yeah, this is my first feature narrative. Yeah, no, we've worked together for years. Again, she's a writer. Like I'll read her things and always help give her notes on things and help her develop stuff. But we've done short projects together for years. So yeah, we've worked together for quite some time.
Had you had any experience with festivals before? Any of the shorts or anything like that played festivals?
Yeah, I have. I had a documentary that I did that was in South by in 2023. That was about a cult in the jungles of Brazil, called Mother of the Dawn, which I really loved making. That during COVID, we went down to Brazil when nobody else was traveling and went into the Amazon jungle and shot this documentary. Um, so I did the rounds with that one, and then I had another short called My Dad's Diner, which was a narrative that I shot. That did a good festival circuit too back in 2023. Yeah, so but not a horror film. So this is my first time, and I mean, so we're playing opening night. We're the second film right after the Pete Davidson
Yeah, right
film.
after the home. It's pretty
It's the
big.
home.
Yeah, it's
So
like
good slot. So
yeah.
I'm so excited. And Fright Fest has always been on my list of genre festivals I wanted to play at. So the fact that we're premiering there is a huge deal. I'm super
Yeah,
excited.
it's a huge festival. So you've never been to Fright Fest like just to go and see movies either. So.
Never, no, I haven't. I've been to like the ones in stateside, like Screen
Yeah.
Fest, and, Fantastic, and some of the festivals, but not over. Yeah, not Fright Fest.
Yeah, it's huge, multiple screens. There's people that have tattoos of Fright Fest. Like
Oh yeah, I love
it's a
it.
really dedicated audience.
I can't wait. Yeah.
And it's festivals. A big part of the festivals for anyone who's never been to one, or if they have been, is everyone talking after the movies, hanging out, talk about the movies they saw,
Love
and
it.
everyone's like on the same level. If you're
Mhm.
there with your movie, if you're in the movie, if you're just there to watch movies, everyone loves these weird movies and want to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. I'm stoked.
So yeah. So yeah, I assume you're going. I should have asked that first. I
Oh yeah,
guess.
no, I'm tonight. I hop on a red eye tonight at 11 p.m. from
Oh
JFK
wow.
to London, and then Thursday is the screening. Yeah.
Yeah, here on the East Coast, it's not really a bad flight.
No, that was one of the great things about moving to the East Coast. Yeah, it's like 6 hours. It's like flying
Yeah,
to
it's like
LA.
basically, I'm in Massachusetts, almost the same as flying to LA for me.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cheaper than flying to Dallas for some reason. I don't know why Texas is
Yeah,
expensive to
yeah,
fly to.
yeah.
You get multiple meals on the international flights kind of spoil you.
They do. They absolutely do. You actually get food that's included. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So, casting the movie, were they people you worked with before, people you knew before?
Both. So, our leads, Piper Curda and Noel Fisher, I hadn't worked with either of them. So, I was looking for our lead, the Kaya role, for quite some time. And then one night I was watching this movie, May December, on Netflix. It's with Julianne Moore. It was like an award film for Netflix in like 2022, 2023. And Piper comes on screen and has this one specific scene. And I was like, holy shit, that's fucking Kaya. Like she, in that one scene, embodied kind of the essence of this character I've been looking for this whole time. So I set up a meeting with her through the casting agent, and me and her sat down and talked about the film, and we saw eye to eye and how we saw Kaya, and it was like, this is perfect. And she was available, and we were one of the films that got a waiver during the SAG strike to be able
Oh
to
wow.
shoot. So we were one of the only films that was shooting. So that's also was great because I was blessed with this amazing cast because everybody was out of work and they weren't allowed to make movies, and we were allowed to make a movie, which was really cool. So that's why I got her. And then Noel, who plays Ethan, who's the tech boss. I was a huge fan of his from Shameless.
Okay.
He
All
was
right. Yeah, I'm a Shameless fan too. So all
yeah,
right.
so he
Yeah.
was, he was, I mean, amazing in Shameless, and then also he was in Twilight. So I've known Noel, and funny enough, coming up as an actor in Hollywood, me and Noel would audition against each other a lot. So I was familiar with Noel because of
Yeah.
that. I had lost a couple of roles to him, and same thing. I had a meeting with him, and he too was like super interested in AI and tech, and had been doing a lot of reading about it. So again, we hit on a certain level, and again, like what he brought to that character too, like incredible. Like that character is an amalgamation of both my many bosses that me and my wife have had over the years. Like majority of the shit that comes out of his mouth are things that actual bosses have said to me and or my wife.
Uh-huh.
So he killed it. I mean, he absolutely, they both did, him and Piper. But
Yeah, they're
you know,
both awesome in the movies.
yeah, they're great. And then Piper brought on. She had worked on a movie called American Pie, one of the American Pies with Natasha, who plays Liza in the film. So she's like, I have a friend who'd be perfect. And then I had her. She auditioned for me. She was incredible. And then Ritesh, who's in the movie. I had worked on a TV show with him, so he was a friend. I cast him. Jude, who's played by Lucius Bayback, a friend of mine for 25 years. When we wrote the role, we had him in mind. And then Josh Zuckerman, who's in Oppenheimer. So I have an actor in an Academy Award-winning film, which is insane. Yeah. He was a friend of my line producer, and he was like, "Hey, Josh is out of work. He read the script. He loves it. You know, everybody's out of work, not just Josh." But he was like, "What do you think?" And then again, I met with Josh, and he was perfect. And it just, I mean, the whole cast. It was important to me that they all had this rapport, and the banter was like, I always. What you do in Hollywood, which when you're pitching a movie, they want comps, right? So you're like, Dawn of the Dead meets Friday the 13th.
right, yeah.
Like you have to so these executives can envision what this movie is. And for me, for this movie, it was Bodies, Bodies, Bodies meets Lawnmower Man. But the elements of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was like that canter they had, like the way that the cast felt so loose and authentic, and the dialogue, and it was fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I looked for when casting, was these people that would fit together like this group.
Yeah, that's a movie I went into really think I was gonna hate. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Like these are gonna be all unlikable people, but they played into all the things I didn't think I'd like about it, and I thought that was one of my favorite horror movies that year.
Exactly. Yeah, it was great.
And Piper's awesome in the movie. Very a strong female character that's also very believable in that role.
Yeah.
Like you never think, oh, they're just writing her this way or anything. Like, oh yeah, she is this person.
Yeah, and that was important to us. We didn't want it to feel forced or feel like, we were trying to say something. We really wanted somebody who was that character, and she really was.
And nothing, just a little tangent. Oppenheimer, that was a really fun time because I went to Barbenheimer and the theaters were packed with people, and people dressed up, some in pink, but mostly in pink, but some people dressed like with hats and trench coats or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's cool. Like all these people going to the theater again. Like it was exciting. It was awesome. A blockbuster movie, Oppenheimer, they're both of them really, that are about something. It wasn't just, cool explosions or something.
I know. I mean, I think that was my favorite movie of that year, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Barbie was great too, but Oppenheimer, it blew me away. It was incredible.
Yeah, it made me go seek the book that it was based on, which is almost like reading a textbook. But the movie was much more entertaining.
Yeah, awesome.
But you mentioned Lawnmower Man. I read that recently for the first time, and that is definitely there's some King books that are a lot different than the actual story, but that one has absolutely nothing to do with the actual story.
I haven't actually read the book. I've only seen the movie, which I watched again recently. Because I wanted to pay homage to these 90s techno thrillers like John Mnemonic and Lawnmower Man and Terminator and all these movies. And I sat down and watched it all the way through again recently, and I was like, it doesn't. It lives better in my mind than it does.
Yeah.
It does when you rewatch it these days.
Yeah, it's definitely of its era.
For sure. Again, if you're watching this and you haven't seen it, definitely worth a watch. Like it's like peak late 80s, early 90s Stephen King, like out there fucking horror.
Yeah, like Max Headroom meets Stephen King. There we go with whatever something meets something rather. But the story's like 8 pages or something. It's super short, and it's about like a goat man who's mowing the lawn. It has to do the movie whatsoever
with where it goes. Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So since you filmed like during the pandemic, and not illegally, you got the okay to do it. But was that part of the because it's a fairly small cast? Is that part of like when you're writing it? So when you first started writing, when you first started writing it, was it during the pandemic? Did you know like?
No, it was during the strike, not the pandemic.
Okay.
Pandemic was over.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
During the strike. Listen, there was so much shit back to back. It all felt like one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It might as well be the thing, but it was during the strikes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, just for me personally, we finished filming most of our movie 2 weeks where everything shut down, and then we had to wait a long time to finish, and then the strikes happened, so it was another long wait period. So they all blend together. To me,
They
is not
do.
a
They
great
really do.
experience.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
people had worse things going on than that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you are writing it or putting this movie together, is that something you think about? Like, did you have like the location already in mind? Like, did you have a place where you could film it?
Yeah. No. So that, that was part of thinking, right? Because it was like I had a very small budget to make this film. So I had a small budget. I had only 14 days. So it was having to, again, to go like, okay, so with the amount of money that I have, with the amount of time that I have, it has to be in contained horror. So I have to keep it in one location, you know? So, and then it was finding this location, which it takes place in an office building. So what we did was, because especially in LA, if you say you're filming, they fuck you. Like 400% more expensive if you're filming, right? So again, on the tail end of the pandemic, right? Office space in LA is decimated. Nobody's in office. So I start going to office buildings saying I'm looking for a short-term lease. And I'm like, I'm looking to lease an office for 2 months. And then I found a space that worked. And I was like, great, I'd like to lease this for 2 months. They're like, yeah, we're totally open to that. And then I was like, so here's the thing. What I'm actually going to be doing is filming a movie. So I kind of already had negotiated 2 months with them not thinking I was filming a movie to be able to, like get in there. So we filmed it in a high rise in downtown LA that had kind of everything we needed. We shot on 2 separate floors of this building. But even that I got fucked on, because even on that, like I had a security deposit, as you do, when they found out we were filming, security deposit. And I got, like, if you see the movie, there's a lot of blood. And we did our best to not get blood on everything. And I did get a little bit of blood, like a little bit of blood on some carpet. And they kept my entire deposit. They were like, which was part of my post budget. And they were like, no, man, you have to replace 15,000 square feet of carpet, because this one carpet, like, well, but that's the thing about LA too. Like, fucking criminals. You're like, guys, like, it's a scam. Like, I can clean that fucking carpet. It's not ruin the carpet, but they're like, good, take us to court. You're going to spend 10 grand going to court. You're like, keep the fucking money. Anyway, so yes, but your question was, yes, we thought with smaller cast, single location, the kills, like, how can I afford to do these kills? Like, that all was thought with in writing the movie, knowing the budget we had before we actually made the movie.
Are you going to bring the robot with you to Frightfest?
I'm not, but I am bringing. I'll show you what I am bringing.
All right.
I made some custom Frightfest merch. I mean, maybe I should bring the robot. I don't know, but I made custom Frightfest merch, which are these little robot.
Oh, amazing! Enamel pins. Nice.
So so the robot will be there in a certain way, but I made a couple hundred of these guys to give out at the festival. So
sweet.
You see me.
I unfortunately will not be there, because I would love one of those. Those are great.
I will send you one of these.
All right, I'll wear it on the show. I'll put on my hat or whatever. Yeah.
Love it. Deal.
That's a cool idea. I love when people do that kind of stuff, and that's a perfect thing to do it with.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So did you do your own editing? Like, who edited the movie?
No. So a really good friend of mine, who actually we became friends over editing this film. I hadn't worked with him before. Is Patrick Lawrence. He edited Shelby Oaks. If you know about that movie, that's coming out.
Yeah. I just saw the trailer for it this week.
So he was the editor on Shelby Oaks. He edited Screamboat.
Oh yeah, Steamboat. I had the people on for it.
Who'd you have? You have
the director and
Stephen LaMorte.
Yes, I've been on a couple of times for that, and I don't want to say the Grinch movie, not the Grinch movie. Yeah,
the mean one.
The mean one. Yeah.
Yeah, I executive produced the Screamboat film.
Oh, cool! It's very fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a fun movie. So anyway, he edited that movie, and he edited Shelby Oaks, and then and he's a great horror editor. Like, you IMDb him, he's had movies in Sundance, Fantastic Fest, like every horror festival he's had movies in. So he's a great, amazing horror editor. So I mean, I sat with him for months in his editing bay, cutting this movie endlessly to get it to where it got to.
Have you ever edited your own stuff?
I have, yes. With this one being that it was a feature, and I kind of had a tight deadline to get it done. I needed somebody else to kind of do the heavy lifting, and I mean, do the whole thing for me. But I have edited. I do love to edit, but when I was learning how to edit, my mentor for editing, taught me this rule, which is closed heart, closed mind when editing. And it can be again, like I was talking about collaboration. Collaboration, even in editing, collaboration is important. It's important to have another person where he's, to bounce ideas off of and be able to do it. And I can edit, but by no means do I consider myself an editor like these guys are, like Patrick is, to be able to like kill it. But I have edited, to your question, yes.
Yeah, I was just so I didn't edit our film, but it was very collaborative, like you said. So we had the editor, and it was the three of us, the four of us, me, Michael, Sophia, then the editor, and we would just take all these notes. And I remember at first I was trying to be nice because I was like, oh, I really don't like a lot of this, but I don't want to be mean. And then I would see the notes, and they'd be huge. I was like, oh, it's okay to be very honest, which honestly, looking back after a while, I was like, oh, that's how this is going to be good. Everyone's got to be like, oh, this doesn't work. And
oh yeah, and it's funny too, like with that first edit with movies, right? Like, obviously, what's the saying? The saying is, it'll never be as good as your dailies, and it will never be as bad as your first edit. Right.
When I saw what do you call the I forget the name of it. It's not even the first cut. It's the assembly. I was like, because this is my first time working on a feature. I was like, I don't think we even have a movie. What the hell is this? And like, just give it time. Or I was like, all right.
That's how it feels, man. And then you have like the EPs and the executives who are all like, we watch these all the time. We understand it. And you're like, no, you fucking don't. You don't understand. You don't understand what it's going to look like with color. You don't understand without VFX. Like, you can pretend to understand and say, but only the director and the editor actually can see the movie for what it's going to be. So that's why I hate sharing rough cuts with people. Ugh. Yeah.
But also, I was going with the editing. I would if you did it all yourself, I always think that it's hard to edit, even though if you should, it's hard to edit stuff that you have like a memory, like, oh, I have a fun memory of making this part. And it's hard to just take yourself out and say, well, it might not work here for whatever reason.
Oh, we had to move stuff around. Like, there's whole scenes that I lifted and moved like 15 minutes later in the film that, when you get into it, when you're filming, it works. But then when you're in the edit, you're like, hold on a second, this makes no fucking sense. This is how we're acting right now. And cut things out and all sorts of shit, for sure. I mean, for us though, because we were on such a tight timeline, only 14 days to shoot, like, the good thing about the edit, I would say, is that we didn't have a lot of takes. So it's like, you have 3 takes to pick from for each line. So it's like, fucking, you're not looking through tons of footage. You're just picking the best and moving on, which I think helped at least the speed of the editing process, for sure.
Yeah. So who did like the robot and the effects in the movie?
What do you mean, like, who controlled the robot?
Yeah, who made it? Well, who like
okay. I'll tell you about all that. So the robot specifically, I bought this robot on the internet, and then Cody, and who's one of our blood special effects makeup artists on the film, he had a 3D printer, so augmented this.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
And changed it so that I wouldn't be sued by the robot company. Maybe I still will be, I don't know. But for the visual effects and the stunts and all that kind of stuff, so the majority of our kills in it are practical. And again, Carly, who was our lead makeup artist, who's Emmy nominated makeup artist from she did American Horror Stories. She's a makeup artist in that. Yeah, so she's huge. And I had worked with her as an actor, and we had become friends. I was like, Carly, I'm making a horror movie. I need blood, lots of it, and death. She's like, I got you. Carly Herbert. So she was fantastic. So she did with her and Cody, They did all the like the the prosthetics and the blood stuff on set. And like Cody built a 3D printed vape pen for the vape kill. Cody printed this stuff, all the blood gag. And then for VFX, my producer, Judy Craig, she is the post-production producer for Pretend, who is the VFX team that did Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Daniels.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
So she's their post-production producer. So we got those guys to kind of come in and beforehand and kind of walk us through like what we needed to get in order to get the shots we wanted to with VFX. And then they consulted. We hired other VFX artists that they had worked with before, and they consulted for us to make sure that all the VFX was at the standard it was at. Because the VFX in the movie, I'm in love with it. I mean, it's better than what was that Marvel movie with the guy from Africa running around, the guy from Kick-Ass, Kraken or whatever that one? I don't know if you saw it, but the VFX
with MODOK.
I don't know, but the VFX is fucking awful. And I was like, this movie, which is like the cost of like your craft services budget, has better VFX because of these artists.
Was that Ant-Man 3 with MODOK, the big head guy?
No, it was the one that came out like last year. The guy from Kick-Ass. I can't remember his fucking name. Who was also in Bullet Train. It's one of those things where I can't fucking anyway. And he was like this superhero who gets bit by a lion in Africa.
Yeah. So that's actually Kraven the Hunter movie. Yeah, it's actually not to get all nerdy here, but that's a Sony movie, not MCU.
Okay.
But yeah.
Kraven, I think, right?
Kraven? Yeah, Kraven. Yeah.
Anyway, the VFX of that movie are fucking awful. And you're like, you had the fucking hundreds of millions of dollars. Anyway, so yes, so between my actual practical effects team and then my VFX team, who are both like superstars, we were able to do all the stuff in the movie.
Yeah, I just saw a short actually that it played at Fantasia, and the effects it was CG, but the effects were amazing. I was like, it was honestly better than a lot of the MCU movies, and it's just cool that much smaller budget, like people can, and I think a lot of it's like, if they really care about it and putting like effort into it, and obviously they're putting effort into the other movies, but I think they're overworked, and you always hear all these different stories.
I mean, the thing is, I had a 2-man VFX team do this whole movie, and they were both Eddie, who was my main VFX artist. He was in the Philippines, and Nero, who was a designer, he was in Malaysia. And it was like, I had these guys, and they cared so much about it, and they killed it. Yeah.
So you said you're a horror movie fan. So what kind of horror movies did you grow up liking, and did you want to make horror movies before this film?
Yeah, I always wanted to make horror movies for so many reasons. But to answer your question, there's one movie that and I want to see if you think it's a horror movie or not. Because for me, it was a horror movie that still fucks me up today and haunted my childhood, and that was Communion. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's about alien abduction, and it, to me, was the scariest fucking movie. There's this one scene where he's sleeping in bed and he looks over, and there's just like this profile of an alien like this looking at him, and then it speeds up to his bed. If there's a door open in the bedroom that I'm sleeping in, I still I'm waiting for the alien to peek his head out. That movie fucked me up, and I consider it my favorite horror film of all time. And then there was the movie that as like a 12-year-old we would sneak into the horror section of Blockbuster to steal, not rent, because we couldn't rent it. We weren't 18, and that was Dead Alive.
I'm a huge fan of Dead Alive. Yeah,
dude. Which again, because I remember the urban. I don't even know, because we didn't even have like the internet back then. But for somehow there was the urban legend about that movie and how it was the bloodiest movie ever made. Like that was like the rhetoric behind it. And I remember we took the movie, and we watched it. And I revisited it recently. And as a kid, it was just a straight horror film.
It's very comedic. Yeah.
But watching as an adult, you're like, this movie's hilarious. This is a horror comedy. Yeah, I love it. That movie holds up. Talking about movies.
I agree. Yeah. I've had Tim Baum, the main guy in the movie, on the show, because I grew up loving Brain Dead. Dead Alive, it's Brain Dead, and
That's right.
other
Same.
movies in
Two
there,
different
whatever.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited to get him on the show. And then and he said that oh my god, I can't think of the guy who made it. It's like one of the biggest directors.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. He's like, Peter Jackson always wanted to make a sequel, but he's always too busy making these giant movies. I was like, really? And so I actually emailed. I was like, eh. So I tried to get Peter Jackson on the show to talk about it, and I got replies. They were like, he's actually interested, but he's like busy making. It was like King Kong. I was like, oh, okay, like,
He's making the Hobbit 12.
yeah. I just think it's like, oh man, I really want to go make Dead Alive 2, but I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go make the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so it takes up all my time. But I'm glad you mentioned it because it's just nonstop. It's just nonstop. That's nonstop blood. That is one that they would take away your. They would be like, we can't clean the carpet after.
Oh yeah, you're not getting any deposit back on that.
Yeah.
No, they had to burn that house down that they filmed that scene in, for sure. But and then like more contemporary. I mean, like Cabin in the Woods. Again, a horror comedy. Like I think that's one of the best horror comedies of the past 20 years. Like that movie is so solid. Such a solid movie. I love Joss Whedon. And then Ari Aster. I mean, early Ari Aster. After Midsummer, he goes a little crazy. But like Midsummer and love that. I mean, and then this year, I mean, Osgood's movies this past year have been so fucking good. Like The Monkey.
Monkey's up there in my top movies of the year so far. It's so fun.
Like The Monkey better than Longlegs. Longlegs, I wasn't a huge fan of.
I did too, and I know it's kind of blasphemy amongst my horror fans, but I don't dislike, but I'm not really a big fan of it either.
Yeah, same. Like I wasn't. But I'll tell you, the most brilliant grassroots marketing for any horror movie ever. Like I was waiting for 2 years for that movie to come out, it was the scariest movie ever. Which it didn't deliver to that, but it was good. It delivered, but just not. I wasn't, the scariest movie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of my highlights for horror movies for sure. Candyman.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Midsummer is great. It was I get this. They played it in this place. They played outside in the woods. It was and last summer, and it was that and the Wicker Man, the old movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought there was birds flying over, so I was like, but there were bats, and I was like. It's like it's cool. It adds to the atmosphere of the movie, but not everyone was into that. But yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess other honorable mention, Candyman. Like that's another movie that like I couldn't look in a mirror as a kid and say I was scared to death to say Candyman because of that film, the original.
Yeah, oddly enough, when I shared this on Instagram, I used the song by the Tim and Nick Cage who do our theme song. I used their Candyman song on the Instagram reel for the interview.
That movie fucked you up, man. That movie fucked me up. But yeah, I love horror. I mean, honestly.
And are your wife a horror movie fan too?
Funny enough, she started as a comedy writer. And then which again is a genre baton, and then came over into horror like 10 years ago. And now that's kind of mainly what she writes. So yes, like she now is a huge.
I think they work similarly.
They do.
And they're the two best kind of movies I think to watch with an audience because you can interact with them and not be rude. I think
that's the thing. Yeah.
I guess you could be if you're just like reading or talking
sure.
on your phone or something. But if you're actually
on Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah. If you're actually interacting with what's going on, I think it adds to the experience.
Yeah.
So premiering at Frightfest, what's the feeling going in? Obviously, I would assume you're excited, but are you nervous at all to watch it with an audience?
Of course. I'm shitting myself. Like, I mean, it's an 800-person theater. So it's like, yeah, I mean, the only people that have seen this movie, are, friends and family. I did a small test audience with a couple people at one point in the edit, but like, yeah, this is the first time I'm sharing it with an audience. So, it's like standing up there naked. Like, I think they're going to enjoy it. I'm pretty confident that they will. But yeah, no, I'm fucking a mess. It's like past the point of nerves where you're just numb. Like you're just like, you got a lobotomy and you can't feel anything because you're so nervous. That's kind of where I'm at. But check back in with me after the screening, and we'll see how it's going. But yeah, that's how I feel right now, for sure.
And what would you say the benefits are for playing festivals?
I think especially with this genre and this kind of movie is it is a very much the fans are so important in horror. They really champion movies and they give these films legs and a life for a long time. And you're going to share it. And as a filmmaker, what's really important is you're sharing it with a community that it's made for. Like let's say this movie just got released or got put on Netflix. Like I would never get the opportunity to be there and actually share it myself and see the audience react to this thing that I made. Or even if it went wide into theaters, like you're gonna get a mixed bag of people, going to the theater. But playing at a genre festival, I'm with people that are a fan of this genre. This is who I made the movie for. So that's one aspect of it. And then another one is, of course, exposure as a filmmaker. Distributors do pay attention to film festivals, especially the big ones. So that's the thing too. Is again grassroots, getting the word out there about the movie, getting it to find a home where it can be seen by the most amount of people. I'd say.
Yeah.
And then also getting to meet like-minded people. Sorry, but like as a filmmaker, like I love that part of going to festivals. You meet other filmmakers, then again you get to collaborate with them, maybe do a project with them, and just they're your people. You get to hang out with your people for a bit.
That's how I got involved at all. I was going as a press, and then just some people liked me, and then we made a short film, and then went on to make a feature and stuff.
Love it. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah. It's a good time. It's the end of the day. Is there anything? Obviously, there's other stuff you would like to see there, I assume. But is there anything that pops out in your mind that, like, oh, while I'm at Frightfest, I want to see this other feature playing?
Yes. I fly in tomorrow. My premiere is Thursday, and I leave Saturday, so I only have one day to see films. I have tickets for the Toxic Avenger that day.
Oh, sweet! I'm very excited to see this. Yeah,
that I'm so stoked to see. So they asked me, like, what tickets do you want? I was like, Toxic Avenger, please. And they're like, okay. So I'm seeing that. I'm stoked to see that one. There's tons of other films I'd love to see, but I don't have the time otherwise.
Yeah, so Todd, who does our reviews, he reviewed it from Beyond Fest a couple years ago when it came out, and he loved it. And then everyone knows probably it. Maybe it was never going to come out, so I've never got to see it, and most people haven't. So I'm excited that. And then Todd originally said he was wondering why it's unrated, but we found out it is a different cut than they showed at Beyond Fest.
Oh wow, cool, exciting.
Yeah.
And
I will not be there, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
But I would like to be. I kind of wish I just went now, but it's a little late.
Great, man. Listen, it's in 2 days. Hop on a flight.
Are you a fan of the original Toxic Avenger?
Yeah, I mean, I am. Yes, very much so. I mean, that was one of those movies as a kid. That one I was able to recognize a tone of that movie as a child. So it wasn't.
Oddly enough, if you watch it now, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of like, I don't know if they would do a lot of this stuff today in this movie, because I always thought of it too as like it's really tongue in cheek. It's like, but then I watched it because I hosted the 40th anniversary panel, which was really cool, and so I watched preparation, and I was like, damn, like I remember a lot of it, but like running kids' heads over, and I was like, this is pretty it's a pretty graphic movie, and a lot of taboo subjects.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's great, and I got to see Troma Studio for the first time a few months ago. I never was there before, which was it's a terrible part of New York, but it was a fun experience.
That was cool.
Which I think it needs to be. I'd be kind of disappointed if it was like.
If it was like in a posh building in like Midtown. And like,
yeah. There's literally like dead rats that were like embedded into the street outside. I was like,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, are you? I saw you guys have a film company too. I wrote down the name here. Reckless Content.
Yeah. So the story of Reckless Content. They Cogn-AI-tive, and they approached me after Cogn-AI-tive and asked me to come on and be their head of development. So, which I said yes to, which is awesome because it allows me to still be a filmmaker and not have to panhandle. So I run the head of development for them. They're an independent studio that does mainly concentrates on genre films, and independent television. They did Screenboat, executive produced Screenboat. They have another movie that we just wrapped on called Hollywoods, which should be wrapped up, and it's probably going to go play at AFM, the American Film Market, to try to find a home. So yeah, I mean, what's cool about that and that job that I love is being again a filmmaker myself, and they're dealing with low budget genre arena is that I get to give filmmakers like myself their first opportunity to make horror films or make films in general. And I pride myself in meeting new filmmakers and not discovering, but I go to festivals, I watch short films, and if I see something that I love, I approach the filmmaker and say, do you have a feature film? Do you have a horror that you can make for this budget? So I love giving that opportunity to other filmmakers. It makes me so happy because I had to wait till I was in my 40s to get that opportunity, and I'm trying to help the younger generation while we're still making films before fucking this asshole over here starts fucking.
Yeah. It get
Yeah.
out there. A lot of times I get depressed. Even some of my friends are like, doing AI scripts, and I'm like, really? Like, oh my.
That's the one thing it's not good at yet, man. It can't fucking write yet, So maybe at least writers will still have jobs.
Yeah, and the posters, like I agree, I get a lot of them look cool, but they all have the exact same like look to them. It's almost like AI posters is its own like its own art form, and
Yeah,
I was
totally.
like I don't know, it's off putting just because I know
Yeah,
how they made it, even though it
yeah,
might look cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So oh, but by the way, you mentioned short films too. That's another big thing about festivals is that's probably your only chance to see the short films on a big screen.
Yeah,
When you're at a
that is,
festival.
yes, very much so. I mean, this honestly might be the only chance, not this, but festivals chance to see your film nowadays on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of getting a festival, a theater run doesn't really happen anymore, right? Like you have to you either pay for it yourself and you four-wall the movie, or you get a distributor behind your film or a studio and they pay for it, which again is not very common. So festivals are, maybe the only time you'll ever get to actually see your film in a theater, a proper theater. So that's another big plus point for doing festivals. And short films, absolutely, is going to be the only time you're going to see your film in a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the short films. And I kind of like we said too, because there's so often I'll see a short film, and they don't make me interested to see their other work or
Yeah.
and even if I don't know the person really, I do feel like it's like a nice feeling when I see them go on and do something big
Yeah.
or
I mean,
bigger.
that's how we got to do this movie is that I made a short film, the studio saw it and they were like, oh, we trust you to make a feature film. We want to give you a budget. We like we did with your short film, make a feature. So, as a filmmaker, anybody who cares, I mean, that's in my opinion, besides what you learn from making a short film, it is definitely a stepping stone that I'll tell you as somebody who runs development for a studio is extremely important. Like I have to know that you can make something and make it well, that's narrative. That's not a commercial or a music video. Like I need to know that you can direct narrative because it's a whole different ball of wax. And I can trust you with my money that I'm going to give to you and you're going to give me a movie. So short films you want to be a director, a necessity, in my opinion.
Yeah, and as far as narrative, sometimes that's hard to do in a short film. I always think some short films are kind of like a punchline short, like it's just boom, and then but sometimes you do see like an actual story, within in the short format,
Yeah.
even if it's a few minutes.
Yeah, I feel like the really good ones do that. Like you have you have a 3-act structure in a 10-minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when just my opinion, if you start doing like the 35, 40-minute shorts, you probably should just make a feature at that point.
Yeah, it's not really a short film. Like, I think 15, I think 15, 20 maybe, my first short was 15 minutes, but yeah, anything above that. Yeah.
So it said memory of Marcus Geeson in the credits. If you want to speak about who that is.
Marcus was a PA of ours who worked on the film who had a tragic passing shortly after we had wrapped the movie. So we were one of the last projects he worked on. So we just wanted to, pay homage to him.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that about him, but it's nice that his memory to him.
Mhm.
So how long was it to film the whole film?
14 days.
Oh, that's pretty quick.
That's all we had. That's all the money I had and time I had. Yeah, it was 14 days. I did 14 days, and then I did one. You can't even call it a pickup day. Like, yeah, like a half pickup day with just me and the DP and our lead actress and nobody else, where we just ran around stealing shots of her, like driving out of a house that wasn't hers through Los Angeles and that kind of shit. But yeah, 14 days. It was quick.
What was you talked about some of the horror movies you liked? What was just movies you watch as a kid? Like, oh, this is something I'd like to do someday.
As a filmmaker, I mean, like my favorite movies as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, several. I mean, to me, I always say some of my top movies were. I mean, The Truman Show was one of my favorite movies as a child. Not as a child of all time. The Truman Show, Vanilla Sky had a really profound impact on me as an artist. I loved that movie. Um, this is like when you Letterbox asks you, which I never have. You're my Letterbox, Neal, so I'm giving you the answers. Fievel Goes West was one of those
All
movies.
right.
I mean, again, and I watched that again recently. As far as like structure and storytelling, it's a bit of a masterpiece, you know. But the thing is, again, like I grew up the youngest of 4 kids, and I was born in the '80s. So I was lucky enough to be exposed to all the films that my older siblings loved. My oldest brother is 11 years older than me. So
Okay, yeah, because my oldest brother's 9 years older, and I always people are always kind of surprised. That's one's even a further distance.
yeah, but like because of that, like I grew up watching, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles and all of, Better Off Dead and all of the amazing cinema of the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
E.T., all those films, although I was a little bit too young for that, but because of them, I got to watch all of that. And then all the amazing movies of the '90s, following up with that. So I was exposed to just decades of film that I feel like a lot of my, contemporaries or my counterparts don't have as much of a knowledge of '80s cinema because of that, because they were, the first kid who was born in the late '80s, so weren't exposed to those movies. But, there was definitely, yeah. And my parents loved, I'd go to the movies with them all the time. I remember one time we went to go see, what movie was it? Was it Time Cop? Was that the one with Jean-Claude Van? It might have
Yeah,
been.
Time Cops. I see. I see. It's. I think they're doing a riff track of it. I saw the trailer of it actually when I went to the movies this weekend.
So I remember going and seeing Time Cop with it was Private Parts with Howard Stern. So
Okay.
I'm like, I don't even know. I am maybe 10 years old, and I remember them taking me to see Private Parts in the theater. And I remember turning around, and my dentist was there, and just their look of like amazed that my parents were taking me to see Private Parts at 10 years old. But that's what my parents did. Like they exposed me to everything. So I just was like this lucky enough to just literally, like it's hard to find a movie that I haven't seen normally when people talk about films. But yeah.
Did they watch your movies? Are they going to watch this movie?
They do. They're going to see this one. I mean, they've been asking to see it. I'm like, just see it in a theater. Like, wait to see it when you can see it right. So they're not coming to London, but we're playing at some other theaters festivals that I can't say yet because they haven't announced, because that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Stateside. So hopefully they can make it to one of the ones that are playing in the U.S. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, and so you worked a lot. You've done a documentary. You've done stuff on TV. What's the difference between doing working on TV and you making a narrative feature?
So TV. So when you work on TV, it's as a director or producer. TV is very formulaic, right? Like you come there. There's a DP who's already worked on the TV show forever. These actors have played this character for however many seasons or years or months. So they know their characters. So you're coming in kind of just being a guide of sorts. Like you're not coming in and giving big direction and doing big moves, and you don't have as much creative input, right? Like you're there to make sure everybody does their job, it gets done. You try to put your little signature on it as like, cool, this is a cool Tommy camera move I'm going to do in this episode. But on the whole, you don't have as much creative input or control over it. on TV. It's super fun. It's great. Like even when you're dealing with actors, like they know these characters better than you know those characters. And a film, I've been sitting with these characters for a year or 2 years before I give it to the actor, right? So like I know what this character is thinking more than the actor knows what the character is thinking when you're doing a film. And the actors look to you for that. And it is way more, collaborative than TV is because, again, they're playing this character for 2 weeks. They just got the set and the first scene they're doing, is their best friend getting killed. And it's like, what the fuck is my character thinking? And you as a director have to be like, this is where you're coming from. This is where you're going. This is how you're feeling, and really, get them in that headspace. So it's very different. Film also, especially indie filmmaking, because again, it's like you schedule 14 days, 21 days, 30 days, whatever it is. You're living in this bubble where you're living and breathing this show. There are 12-hour days, and then you're going home, and for another 5 hours, you're doing your shot list for the next day. You're thinking about your pickups, like you're living and breathing and eating the movie to the point where like you feel like you're in this movie. Nothing else exists outside of those walls of your set. Well, TV is a little more relaxed than that, and you're doing 7 days, you're in and out, it's done. There you go. Long-winded answer to your question.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And now, where can people follow you and the movie to see where it does go from Frightfest?
Yeah, so on Instagram at Tommy Savas, my name. And then if you're lucky enough to get one of these little pins, there's a website on the back. It's Cogn-AI-tive, but spelled Cogn-AI-tive .ai and or Cognitive on Instagram. But just follow me.
Well, I'm sorry. I like that you got the .ai.
Like that?
That's very smart thinking. I like it.
Yeah, thanks.
And any advice, since you have a lot of experience and you have the company now, any advice for what people should look out for if someone does want to distribute their movie?
Well, distribution is a whole nother ball of dicks, man. Okay, guys. All right, let's talk. Okay. I can talk forever on distribution. With distribution, I would say look at the films that distributor has distributed. Okay. And look what those films have done. And if you can, talk to those filmmakers, which they'll be more than happy to talk to you, because if they're pissed off, they'll be happy to talk to you. And if they're happy, they'll be happy to talk to you. Mm-hmm. So I would say if you get an offer from a distributor, look at the other films they distributed and talk to people that have worked with them. Did I just freeze like that?
You did, yeah. With your
God, look at that cool pose I froze in. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good anyway.
But anyway, talk to them, because it's a business where they'll do shit like this. They'll go, because they'll give you things called MGs, right? Minimum guarantees. And they'll go like, hey man, great. So we'll give you 20 grand minimum guarantee, right? So they'll give you a check for 20 grand. And they're like, that's just the minimum, right? Like that's just to get your interest. But, then they'll do creative accounting and they'll be like, the movie has only made $20,000, where you have a movie where, like I had a movie, one of the first movies I produced that I know made over $1 million, but yet still haven't reached it 10 years later because of creative accounting. So my first piece of advice, talk to other filmmakers who have been with that distributor, get their opinion on them. That's my advice.
Yeah, it's good advice. Many friends who have, awful experiences and stories. And many people come on the show and talk about it.
Yeah, it's the hardest part of, honestly, it's the hardest part about filmmaking is getting it seen and getting it distributed and, making money back on the money you spent to make the movie. It's not easy.
Yeah, and things keep changing, so I don't know. There's a rise of platforms for them to go, but I don't know.
There is. Listen, the new AVOD, advertising video on demand platforms, Tubi, all these things are actually amazing for creatives themselves, because you can self-distribute on these platforms. You can do grassroots marketing, and if you have a hit, you're able to make really good money off of it. So the tides are turning in the favor of the artist. It's just, we'll see what happens.
So I really dug Cogn-AI-tive. Cogn-AI-tive.
Cognitive. You got it.
Cognitive. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And I hope people go see it at Frightfest and then look to see where it goes beyond there if you can't get to England. But Frightfest is amazing, and congratulations, and have a great
Awesome.
time there.
Thanks, brother. Great talking to you.
You as well. Yeah, welcome back anytime.
Thanks, man. Okay.
All right. We'll talk to you.
Yeah.
That was Tommy Savas. I'll remove you here, so you know. All right. He removed himself. All right. I always feel awkward removing someone from the show, as people know who watch us regularly. So we're gonna, in a few minutes, I'm gonna be joined by D.W. Medoff, director of Your Host, which is also playing at Frightfest. Let me actually play the trailer here, and then maybe he will be joining us while that's playing. Here we go. Your Host, starring Jackie Earle Haley.
Hello?
You said that everyone's got gut in them.
Let's give our contestants a big round of applause.
Why is he calling us contestants?
Because I know how to play the game. Let's continue with the fun, shall we? People like you just lie and cheat.
Please help me!
And you hurt people.
Please help me! Please help me!
Now it's time for the Wheel of Fame.
Anxiety! Everyone's a winner!
Everyone's got bad in them, too.
Hey, I'm back here. I'm just hoping that that DW has the right link, because originally we were going to record it, so he may have the wrong link. I'm going to check here. So I'm going to play another trailer here while we try to get DW on the show. What do I have here? Let's watch Human. Well, no, that's we're going to watch Don't Let the Cat Out, which I interviewed for earlier this week. Really fun movie.
Do you remember when we met?
Happy Halloween.
I knew you were my best.
I am so sorry I'm late.
Come on in, Charlie.
Thanks. Hi, Mrs. Davis.
Hi. Everything you need is written on the fridge. And if we don't come back tonight, just make yourself at home. Let's go. We're late.
There he is.
Hey, how's the house sitting going?
Quiet so far. Hazel. Don't touch her or she will scratch you. Looks like I gotta stay.
Whoa, it's Halloween.
Hello?
Don't let the cat out.
Dr. Davis? Somebody there?
Hey, by the way, DW's on the other one, so I'm going to log off here, and DW, I'll record with him, and we'll post it a little bit later. Sorry about that, but thank you for Tommy for coming on the show.